Hey guys, my name is Shaden and I'm currently in Manhattan, Kansas, but I will be talking about my hometown, Newton, Kansas. Um, Due to my wife being a nurse and us both being exposed daily, I will not be going out in public today. Rather, I'll be doing this via screen recording and other methods. Today I'll be walking you through the planning WTF in Newton, Kansas. This problem has been an issue since I can remember. I grew up with it, parents grew up with it, and it is a pretty well-known problem throughout the city and maybe even the state, I'm not sure. Um, but let me share my screen real quick. So this is the planning WTF in Newton, Kansas. Just to get a location viewpoint, um, this is a safe Kansas, Newton is here, Wichita's here, and Manhattan is somewhere up in this general vicinity. And this is just a close site plan view of Newton. So the problem is actually the railroad track, and it separates the city in two. And this results in if there's a train, you have to wait for it to pass through the city to get to the other side of town. Um, if you wish not to wait, you can go to the outskirts of the city using the highway, but that typically results in the same amount of time as waiting for the train because of the location of the on and off ramps. And the tracks run directly through residential neighborhoods as well. Um, Newton is also a very large hub for trains. They frequently stop on the tracks. They have Amtrak there that goes to Chicago and LA. Um, and if the trains stop on the tracks, it typically results in at least a 30-minute delay or more to your destination. Um, if it's a track change, then it results in a longer wait time, which is about 45 minutes or more. It also provides not provides, but causes a pretty significant safety issue. Children playing in the residential areas, they can come pretty close to the tracks, and the cars think they can make it. Um, there has not been any recent deaths or any that I can account for, but it definitely is an issue in the residential areas. So these maps just kind of show how the train track splits the city in two. And you can see I have highlighted the areas um, that show how it's split into two within the city limits. And then I highlighted the main residential area that would be affected with safety concerns and noise concerns. The entire city throughout is pretty much affected with noise pollution from the trains. But this would be a major area for safety concerns with children or other pedestrians or residents. I actually used to live in this general vicinity, so that caused, I know firsthand how loud the trains can be. They rattle your house, and I grew up in the area as well, and kids are just drawn to train tracks. And then this shows the alternative route. So this is the track splitting the town in two. There's on and off ramps here, and on and off ramps here. And with only two locations of on and off ramps, I guess there is one over here too, but this is more of a industrial area. Only two locations of on and off ramps would cause people to backtrack to those on and off ramps to get to this side of the city. And same over here, they have to backtrack through North Newton just to get to this side of town. So some of the analysis of just some common knowledge of growing up in Newton, why this is issued, why it might have been caused. It was built by the St. Louis, Fort Scott, and Wichita Railroad Company, and it directed it northwest from El Dorado, which is about 30 to 45 minutes from Newton. And it soon became part of the Missouri Pacific Line with several alternative stations to Newton. So Newton was just one of several stations. And location-wise, the town of Newton was not yet fully established, as you can see in this early image where the tracks are already built. This actually might be a sketch of the city. But therefore, due to the lack of residents and the development of the track systems were not a large issue and did not cause any impediments on the city at the time until Newton was fully or further developed. And this is just this is an old image of Newton, Main Street, facing south. And then this is another older image, probably taken in the 60s, 70s, or of the train station. And then this is the train station now, where they host Amtrak. They took away the shade structures where for people to wait, which I thought was super interesting because I had never seen this image before. So some potential solutions. There has been past and recent discussions, or I guess you could say town gossip, of a proposed bridge system to go over the railroad tracks for the vehicles, and also proposed bridge system for the train to go over the city, which those would be two major infrastructure developments, and would be pretty difficult to pass. But some potential solutions that I have come up with: creating an underground system for cars to pass underneath. The next slide, I'll show you two general areas that this would potentially work fairly well in. And another one is pretty simple and honestly would be very beneficial to a lot of people in the city, is creating a train application that has the approximate time of trains passing through the town and how long it will take to pass through. This would allow for residents to plan accordingly on when and if they should or should not leave their home, and just approximate commute times, and if they leave at X time, can they get there can they get to their destination on time in regards to trains. So these are just two areas. This is the Main Street. This is the railroad tracks where a tunnel could go underneath. This would save a lot of commute time, prevent people from having to go backtrack south or north to Highway I-35, I believe it is. And just to sum up everything, Newton, Kansas has a large train delaying residents issue. The trains cut through neighborhoods, creating safety problems. The noise noise echoes throughout the city, and this just produces noise pollution. And the potential solutions are most likely not feasible, but could be beneficial if implemented in the future. Besides the app, that's pretty feasible. So thank you for listening to my presentation.